Okay, so if you've clicked on this link, then that means that you are in need of a little help. And I would agree that this is a tad bit challenging. So we've started this code up here at the top. So make sure this is all set in. We want to make sure the pin is set to 25%, pointing in the direction of 90, which that just means it points to the right. It goes to negative 222 for X, and Y is 150. And all that does is that it puts it back in there. We are going to go ahead and rotate it 90 degrees and wait 1 second. And there's a reason for this. So we're going to use something. So just like in the last lesson, we're going to use a control where if it hits something, we want it to do something else. So, for example, in this case, we want it if it is touching black, or in this case, let's just double check like we did last time. We want to make sure that's the right color, which it should be. We want it to do something. And so we're going to say we want it to rotate 90 degrees. Now, our goal is to only use one type of rotation, and it will make sense eventually as we work on this. And else, we're going to want it to move 10 steps. Oh, and as always, we want this to happen forever. What happens? But it gets stuck, right? And why does it get stuck? Oh, and we need to, I've always said, we need to at least put these weight. And as this progresses down, as you see, we'll go, but what will happen at the end? It'll hit the black button, the black line, and then back, and then it'll just rotate. But what will watch what happens. When it hits the black line, it back. It'll rotate. Oh, but it's still on the black line. So we need to make it to where it doesn't. So it's going to rotate. So what do we want it to do first? Not only do we need it to rotate, we also need it to move backwards. And let's just say, let's move it backwards -10. Back up. So now it may or may not have, maybe we need to back it up a little bit further. Maybe we need to back it up. So we might have to back it up just a little bit more because it didn't do what we wanted. So we're going to say -12. And sometimes you just got to go back and forth on this to see which one works. And this one should work just fine. Backed up, rotated, and now this time it worked well. But as you see, it only rotates right. So we need something to be able to make it rotate to the other direction. So in this case, what we want to do is you want to put in something where if it rotates right and then it continues on and it hits a black line again, it's going to face the other direction to go out. Now, this is a little bit tricky because we have to figure out a way to sense that black line is close. And when we do this, we actually want to do a countdown. So we're going to do another if else. So if we're going to say a timer is less than, and we can do whatever we can say less than 2 seconds. So that means it has to move once, let's say maybe 3 times. So if it hits this and it hits it less than 3, then it will do something else. If it hits it and it's greater than 3, then it'll do something else as well. And as you see this, so we need to figure out what goes right here. And think about what we just said. If it hits it and then it rotates, it'll hit there. Now our timer starts at the beginning, so we need to make sure that every time it hits a black line, that it's going to reset the timer. So you do need to put something like reset timer on there. And so that way, if it hits that black line, it'll reset the timer, and then it'll move on. So the question is, what do we put here, and what do we put here? So you have to think about what's going to happen. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of hint. This is a little bit of structure. So I've got some gaps to fill in. We want to make this turn basically left instead of right, even though we can only use the rook clockwise. And what happens if nothing goes on? See what you guys can come up. Gives you quite a bit of hints.